everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guest today is a phenomenal woman. Of course I'm fond of her, but besides that, what she's managed to do is stay relevant for so many years, just be herself, which in this industry, by the way, is a really big deal, and also continue to do some kind of roles that you all admire. I'm going to talk about a project that you all love. Of course, I'm talking about the very talented Katrina Kaif. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
Katrina plans things, not so much with the media. She's like, "Dekhte hain, kab
I
karenge?"
do. I just love you so much that I just
You
have
love
to,
me?
Yeah, I just have to you know.
Off camera zyada.
Yeah, exactly.
It is not on camera, isn't it? But on that note,
I love you on and off.
I love you on and off as well. You know that. But on that note, I think it's phenomenal, the kind of business that Tiger 3 has done. But for me, more importantly, is I love what they did with Zoya. Maneesh, when I met him right before the release, we had a discussion, informal discussion, where I told him that, Zoya's always fascinated me. So please tell me where that graph's going and like what we're doing. And he said, I promise you, because I'm glad you said that, I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed. And I wasn't. I'm so excited that Zoya stands out. Of course, the story, it is Tiger, but yes, Zoya is so equal in every way in the film, and I'm so delighted for you. So tell me how you've been reading all the reactions, and of course, you're used to having 100 crore films. That's not a big deal.
Listen, for the first time, it's so wonderful. Firstly, that that Tiger 3 is getting love from the audience, and again, Salman and me both are getting love for these characters, which are so close to our heart. Ali said to me yesterday, Ali Abbas Zafar, the director of Tiger Zinda Hai War, he said that, for me, Tiger and Zoya are one unit. And I think that was so well put, because you saw it from the first Tiger to the second Tiger to now Tiger 3. You saw from the first Tiger these two incredibly fiery, independent, strong forces come together, fall in love, and then that unison kind of just, that dynamic becomes seamless, as professionals, as husband and as wife, and as lovers. And we've seen that progress in the last three films. In this film with Zoya's character, like you said, Maneesh Sharma, the director, he always, and I could see this from day one, he always loved Zoya's character. I could see that in his interaction in the scenes, in the writing, in the execution, that this was something that he really connected to, and it was personal for him, like the tagline. This time it's personal, but he had a personal interest, and I think that's why part of the reason why Zoya's character has come out so well on screen, and it's wonderful to see Yash Raj, the producers that Yash Raj are in a franchise like Tiger, in this whole kind of spyverse, really taking forward the female characters and giving them that gravitas, giving them that importance, giving them that strength, and showing us doing what we're capable of doing, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
we've done those sequences, I've done those sequences, and they're giving me the platform, they're giving Zoya the platform in which to do that. And I'm happy to see that, even as a third party also, I'm happy to see these kind of characters now coming into Hindi cinema. We've seen them before in the West with, Charlize Theron, who I've always admired, the kind of, her in this space. I love her in this space. We've seen Halle Berry do it phenomenally in John Wick. We've seen Anne Hathaway do it in Batman. And now I think we're starting to see that now in Hindi cinema. And it's lovely, it's really, really wonderful to see. And I think we're only going to take it forward from here, and it's only going to become bigger and better.
And you're right when you said that he is kind of in a very healthy way obsessed with Zoya, because it shows in the writing that we saw. Also, I must say that there was so much excitement about the action sequences, right? For me, for the part 2, your action stood out for me, because that sequence that you have when you're saving the girls, that is one of my favorite action sequence done by any actor. I'm not going to say male or female. I think it was effortlessly executed, right?
It was a beautiful sequence.
I know everybody talks about how hardworking you are. I'm going to not ask that. I'm going to tell you how much fun you had kind of playing with the action that you had to do here. And also the fact that, as usual, she was not waiting for a man to save her.
Yeah. That's always been Zoya's character, though. I mean, that she's always been presented like that in the Tiger franchises. And in this film, it just took it one notch up. Adi and Maneesh had conceptualized some brilliant sequences, action sequences. And we all knew that this hammam sequence could be something really unusual. You know, two women in this scenario.
It was
gritty and a
no?
brutal fight, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't want it to be like it wasn't going to look fake. It had to look real. And this girl, the actress that I was fighting, she's actually a trained martial arts expert. So, you know, it was like you got to be careful and you got to put the work in. And I knew what the sequence, I knew what the potential was of the sequence, and I think we all just went out there to deliver it, and we wanted it to be amazing. And I've always wondered, like, I don't know, do people really even notice, like, say, like the training you do, you know? Do they notice how, like, that
I
the
did.
physique
I would never do it.
that you so see, you don't know, right? You can't calculate this.
Sure.
This is not quantifiable.
Sure.
But you go home knowing that you put in everything that you thought would deliver that impact on screen. And that's what I tried to do in the film, and that's what we as a team tried to do in the whole film.
Katrina, how many hours did you practice to get that perfect?
See, it's not just the rehearsal,
Not the
right? So
rehearsal,
you'll rehearse,
yeah.
say for each sequence you might rehearse about between 6 to 10 days, okay? But it's the physical training you're doing. So before a Tiger film, I'll start my training 3 months before that. So for this film, I trained with a guy called Mustafa. You might be seeing him on Instagram.
Yes, of course.
He's just like a hardcore guy.
He is super. It's very stressful.
It's stressful.
I find it very stressful.
It's stressful. And the biggest change he brought into my training this time was mental. You know, he brought a lot of the mental capacity. I knew training was going to be hard. I've done physically hard training before. We wanted Zoya to look even more stronger and sharper, leaner, lither, more quick in this film. And I think we were able to achieve that with the right team around me. And what he brought to me and what he brought to the table was, it's first done in the mind. You know, I'm tired, this is hurting, oh no, that's too heavy, I can't do that. No, only 15 reps, you know. He taught me the kind of way through it, not by trying to fight with your body, but by developing that in your mind and then finding your way through it. And that's kind of the philosophy that I used and took forward on all the action as well.
Oh my God.
But yeah, you go home tired.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Happy but tired.
But I mean, it shows. I have to bring this up. You know, people are always talking about, okay, Salman and Katrina have such an organic chemistry on screen. But it's very difficult to have that every time you come in, right? And for a franchise, that is the third part of it.
Yep.
To also show that chemistry in a very different way for like a mature love story, right? I feel like both of you exactly know what to do, you know, to bring that very organic chemistry that you guys have. Look like lovers, but like a married couple, and then also show that little bit of, you know, what is happening in the backstory. Tell me how that works out. I want to know if you'll ever have discussions about it, because people on-screen chemistry, okay, it has to be like, you know, Salman and Katrina.
Let's you and me act that out. How would a romantic Salman? I want to discuss this romantic scene with you. You know Salman as well.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think.
So just tell me how you imagine that discussion going.
Yeah,
Salman, can we sit and discuss the romantic scene? Say. Biting
I can be
shirt.
Katrina.
Yeah.
I can be Katrina. You can be Salman.
You be me.
I'll be me. I said, should we discuss what we do, like to make it more organic? And what do you think we should do?
Coffee pilau. But the amazing thing about it is, which you know, and I'm sure you know this, you've interacted with Salman so much. Salman will never show you, but he's always thinking. And if you're going to talk to him about it, then that means you're engaging with him.
Yeah.
But he is sitting on the set chewing the shirt collar, one corner of it, as he likes to do, and he's thinking about the scene. He's thinking, and that's what's playing in his mind, which now I know after so many years together. And when you're talking about chemistry, firstly, I have a slightly different theory on this. I think it's a two-part theory.
Yeah.
One is that chemistry is in the writing. If you don't have it in the writing, it's not going to be there, no matter what you do. If it's in the writing, then of course you can add on to that. Maine Pyar Kyun Kiya was 2004. Now we're 2000.
Early
we're
2000s.
almost 2024.
Yeah,
Right? Almost.
yeah. 20 years.
So let's call it 20 years on set with someone is a long time, right?
Exactly.
It's not that you're on set every day, but we've done films over the years, so you know that person also. So you can. It's like a dance. You know, doing a scene, I feel, is like a dance, and especially with someone like Salman, because he is very unpredictable, right?
Yeah.
He will not do it one way, and the next take he will change it every take. He'll throw something else at you, so you gotta be fluid, and that's what I think our chemistry is like when we're on set together. I kind of read him, and then he reads me, and we play off each other, and it molds itself into something.
And I also feel like among the few people he listens to you. Get a reminder when I was watching the Big Boss episode, because I had to, you were coming. And I thought, it got a little awkward. It got heated in the house.
Yeah.
And your expression, I looked at her, I'm like, I'm going to bring this up. You look like, and he went, Salman, the Katrina's here, how could you make Diwali so bad and all of that. And then you calmly say, no. In your style, because you've often been the peacemaker in a lot of situations. I think we should go out, go in the house, and I think we should do it. I want you to tell me how that moment is, because a lot of people should know you have been a huge peacemaker in a lot of situations.
But we're also friends, right?
Of course.
Like after so many years, we have a really incredible friendship. And I've said this before, Salman is the kind of person that even if you haven't spoken to him in weeks, or even more than weeks, if there's a moment in your life where you're in trouble, or you need help, or you just might need advice or something, he will always sense it, and he will always connect. And he's got a very generous heart, and we have an incredible equation. It's a very strong equation, and I think it's one with a lot of respect and admiration as well, which is very important.
Which is why he listens to very few people, you know that. Which is why when you say it, let it be.
It's called selective hearing.
It's called selective hearing. Yeah. Apparently you do that to a few people too.
I process information and then I process it at a different speed.
But talking of course about from one movie to another, I have to talk about the choices that you're making. I was so delighted to see the announcement of Merry Christmas. We at some point when we were meeting at the red carpet in Hurry, where you're very cutely, besides getting awards, also going to cheer your very green flag husband. We will talk about that. And hurriedly we talk about Merry Christmas. I think today was the time I'm going to bring it up to say what a defining moment it's going to be. Because you've always wanted people to look at you with a different lens. And just because you're good at doing something, you were constantly being stereotyped, and there were people, if you don't get opportunities, how do you show that you're capable of it? I think this was a moment where a lot of your fans, a lot of people were actually discussing about how, Vijay Sethupathi, Sriram Raghavan, Katrina Kaif is going to be a badass combination.
It's going to be an interesting combination, and that's what I think is going to be really novel about the film. But for all of us, I know for Vijay sir for certain, for me for certain, I have always been a big Sriram fan. I'm a big fan of Sriram Raghavan, and I always wanted to work with him. It was on my bucket list, that was very clear. And he's just a phenomenal storyteller. Again, passion. We're talking about passion, right? So just passion in what you do. He lives, he breathes for films. And that's what shows on screen. And phenomenal experience working with him. I think I've learned so much. I told him, I said, sir, I have never cried so much on screen in any film, off screen during the making of any film, on the set during the making of any film, even while the cameras are rolling and not rolling. I was like, it was an intense process. And it was one that I learned so much from, and what a lovely gentleman as well, lovely guy, lovely collaborator as well, besides just a phenomenal director.
It's been postponed to January though. A little bit more wait, isn't it? Because of the movies around.
The release date now is January 12th. I think it's good. I think it's a good window for the film to breathe, and I think it's an exciting time.
So like I said about the movies, then the choices that you want to make and you're making. Do you think that is happening now? Because I see not just this, I know there are a few other projects where you've got some really interesting roles being offered to you.
You know, I am a person who always likes the truth to be known, and I have to be very, very frank and say that I've always been incredibly fortunate to be offered very, very versatile roles.
That's true.
But as an actor, in different phases, you choose what you are attuned to. You
Correct.
tune what you not attuned. Sorry, what affinity. It's what interests you at the time,
Sure.
right? So there's been phases in my life where certain genre of films is what I was passionate about. That's in my heart. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I went for. But I've had phenomenal choices. Like, I've had really wonderful, versatile, and incredible films offered to me throughout my career. And I think now, as with time and with experience, you get confidence, and also you as a person evolve.
Yeah.
Your interests change, right? The things that I liked 4 years ago, I don't necessarily like now.
True.
My tastes might have changed. You acquire interest in new things, and I think that's what you're seeing reflect now in my choices.
100%. I spoke about your green flag husband.
I don't know what
the
that
talented
means.
Green flag. Of course, you know what green flag is.
don't.
Red, Katrina. This is you're doing the straight face thing with me. You know that I don't fall for it. I know you too well for that. But you know, because internet describes him like that. This is the biggest green flag. We want a Vicky Kaushal in our lives. You're going to complete 2 years
Yeah.
again now, and I feel
December 9th.
December
which not
9th.
only you, I remind him as well.
I know December 9th. I know it. I knew it. But December 9th is the date when that happened. You remind him as well? I don't think so. I think he remembers. No?
That I don't know, because I don't give him a chance to forget it.
But he's, you know, when we were talking to him last time also, he said that how you have brought you've made his life so much more better because of the energy you get. He's barely only laughing. He said such nice things, Katrina.
I don't know, I'm laughing because whenever like we're apart for a few days or a week or for a schedule, and then whenever I come back, he says like, see, that's what was missing, the drama. It's the drama. When you're around, there's drama. So there's entertainment. So I'm just entertained and life seems full. This is that, this is that, this is that, this
But
is
you
that.
are entertaining.
I guess I've
I
been
love
told
it.
by my husband that I am. So I think I have to accept that I must be entertaining on some level.
And you 100% are. But like I said, you know, he was really saying that, and also about the fact that you are really like one of the wisest people he knows.
But can I tell you something on a serious note? He is also very, very wise. He's very wise. Yeah. He's very, very mature beyond his years. And I think that a big part of that has to do with the upbringing that he's had from his parents. I think he's had such a solid upbringing and such wonderful parents, and they've instilled that deep sense of values and I think just the right approach to life.
I always told you I find you zen. Like there are things happening around, chaos, you know, people are saying this and that, and you would come and say, oh, okay. How do you deal with all of that? I want to know. How are you dealing? How do you still maintain, like always be the center of zen when things around you are being spoken or there is chaos around
But I'm
you?
not always zen,
Not
right?
always.
I'm appropriately behaved in circumstances, right?
Sure.
So of course I'm going to
Sure, of course you have your moments.
measure myself and make sure that I am restrained in my actions and reactions, because I think that's what we all need to do as professionals. But I have my moments, you know, off the cameras where you will feel stressed and you will feel hyper, and it's that side is again for part 3 of our interview.
but genuinely, I think you still do. I think you've managed to.
I think I can calm. I can get hyper, but I can also talk myself down fairly quickly.
Sure.
My cycle of hyperness is not long lasting. It's short, but then I also kind of navigate myself and navigate the way through it.
The other thing that I want to see is happening is Jile Zara, because couldn't be more excited.
Yes.
I think a film about women just having fun, and 3 best women that we have in the industry coming together.
So,
Priyanka,
really
you
lovely.
and Alia is going to be amazing. So please tell us that is
Yes.
happening, because there have been too many on and off. So please reassure all of us.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I'll obviously, towards the end of it, I want to say that I spoke to Emraan, and Emraan said that I think what Katrina brings to Zoya is that she plays it with the vulnerability and fierceness. And I think that's the best way to describe it, because that's exactly how it is.
I think that's a very good description of the way the character is written. Yes.
Especially in this track. How did you see yourself while you were doing it? Because it is true, you were absolutely vulnerable, yet you were again calming yourself there, and then you were also being fierce when it had to be.
I think I just connect to, on a personal level, I can find a lot of connections. I find a lot of mental connections to that philosophy of having to do something because that's your job, right?
Yeah.
Like for Zoya, it's for her country or whatever it is she's doing as an agent. But having to fight and put aside your feelings, do what you need to do, regardless of how you feel in the situation, regardless of if you're feeling weak, regardless of if you're feeling tired, regardless of if you're feeling emotional. And having a capacity to separate that, your emotion and your actions, and do what you must do what you need to do at the right times. So I think I can find a lot of connection to that. At the same time, I'm always able to observe that, you know, if you have a family and you know, a husband who you love so much, and you must want to protect that, right?
Yeah,
that must be a fear, constant fear in her mind. That must be a constantly playing on her head. Every time you put yourself in danger, what about my husband? What about my son? So I think the emotions there are very relatable.
This is the last round of fun questions, Katrina. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, if you had to describe Zoya in 3 words, what would they be and why?
I want to take Imran's 2 words, which was vulnerable, I think fierce, and determined.
Okay. If we had, there's always been a talk about the fact that she should get a separate movie in herself. If there was a movie that was being made on Zoya, what would the title be and why?
That we need time for. That can't be done.
No, put it on the universe.
See, the concept can be there without the title. So, you know, that we can go ahead, me and you, and our desires and the wishes out there. But title, we gotta give that thought. That deserves some time and
fair enough. Okay.
And effort.
Fair enough. Okay. What has been your favorite 2 characters in the Spyverse? Could be any from any Spyverse that you choose, and why?
I mean, Tiger is definitely going to be one of them. He's the original spy,
sure.
And it's all started with him. And he's got that suave, you know. He's got that you know, fearless, you know, James Bond-ish kind of, you know. Don't give a damn, but I'll go out there and do what I need to do, and at the same time be vulnerable. And I just think it's phenomenal and it's memorable.
A misconception about yourself when people who don't know you have, but when they meet you, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, but you're like this. What is it?
A misconception about myself? That I'm Zen.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're play acting Zen? I don't believe it. You are a little Zen.
I'm Zen. Actually, you know what? I just realized something. You're right.
Of course you're Zen.
I am Zen.
I like
except for when I'm not. But then I just realized that the other times when I'm not like hyper stressed about something, I am actually quite quiet and Zen. Wow, you taught me about something about myself.
Katrina, I'm not buying this. Thanks. I totally buy that I have made you realize
I promise you've made me realize this.
But I think you're Zen in these situations. I feel like you've dealt with it. But chalo, koi nahi. Okay, fair. I give you this one. A rumor about yourself that makes you laugh. It has to make you, it'll be a funny one. It needs to be like a weird, funny one.
That I don't eat much.
So that's absolutely not true.
I can't be hungry. I can't be. Eat sensibly. And I think I learned that from my mom. You know, my mom is a healthy eater. Healthy. It's all about healthy eating. But eat. You have to eat. For me, I mean, food is...
One thing about Katrina that Salman complains about all the time.
Gyan.
Gyan?
You give too much gyan. Talking.
Who, according to, how would you describe Zoya and Tiger's chemistry, if you had to? If you as an audience look at it, how would you describe it?
I would say there's comfort, there's ease. It's you know, some relationships are always efforted.
Yeah.
You know, it takes effort. They're tumultuous and there's a lot of, you know, push and pull.
Yeah.
I think with Tiger and Zoya from Ek Tha Tiger, it's always been, even if there are big milestones of obstacles that come in their way, whether it's a country, whether it's something, you know, they're at war because they are from two you know, one's from Pakistan, one's from India. There is still something about the equation, which is of one of trust and respect. And those are the two pillars of any relationship. If you have trust and respect, I think any relationship can navigate through obstacles.
You're already working with Vijay Sethupathi, another actor from the Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam industry that you would love to work with, and why? Can be from any industry.
I'd say, if I have to just quickly pick, I'd say there are so many. There's so many that are phenomenal right now. I think Rajni sir, of course, he's just amazing, just phenomenal. Look at him. Such an inspiration.
And what are you most proud of?
Proud of, I don't know, but grateful for, I could say my life. Grateful for, I would say my journey so far, the work that I've had, the people around me, my family, my husband, and my friends.
Really sweet. Thank you, Katrina. I always enjoy chatting with you, and I'm really delighted for Tiger and for Zoya and for you.
Thank you so
and
much.
You will always deserve way more love than you get.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay, lots
You
of love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.